Debut. The first time a young girl is seen drunk in public. It took him a moment to respond to the unguarded sweetness of her smile, her body calculated to a millimeter to suggest a bud, yet guarantee a flower. Men get to be a mixture of the charming mannerisms of the women they have known. No amount of fire or freshness can challenge what a man will store up in his ghostly heart. All life is just a progression toward, and then a recession from, one phrase, I love you. Either you think, or else others have to think for you and take power from you, pervert and discipline your natural tastes, civilize and sterilize you. Everyone suspects himself of at least one of the cardinal virtues. At any rate, let us love for a while, for a year or so, you and me. That's a form of divine drunkenness that we can all try. All good writing is swimming underwater and holding your breath. Boredom is not an end. Product is comparatively rather an early stage in life and art. You've got to go by or past or through boredom as through a filter before the clear product emerges. Often I think writing is a sheer paring away of oneself, leaving always something thinner, barer, more meager. Show me a hero, and I will write you a tragedy. Everybody's youth is a dream, a form of chemical madness. Genius goes around the world in its youth, incessantly apologizing for having large feet. What wonder that later in life it should be inclined to raise those feet too swiftly to fools and bores. It is in the 30s that we want friends. In the 40s we know they won't save us any more than love did. The compensation of very early success is a conviction that life is a romantic matter, in the best sense one stays young. After all, life hasn't much to offer except youth, and I suppose for older people, the love of youth in others. At 18, our convictions are hills from which we look. At 45, they are caves in which we hide. No grand idea was ever born in a conference, but a lot of foolish ideas have died there. Optimism is the content of small men in high places. An idea ran back and forward in his head, like a blind man knocking over the solid furniture. Forgotten is forgiven. You can stroke people with words. Nothing is as obnoxious as other people's luck. Action is character. Personality is an unbroken series of successful gestures. Sometimes it is harder to deprive oneself of a pain than of a pleasure. The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposed ideas in the mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. The victor belongs to the spoils. Advertising is a racket, like the movies and the brokerage business. You cannot be honest without admitting that its constructive contribution to humanity is exactly -0. Riches have never fascinated me unless combined with the greatest charm or distinction. The easiest way to get a reputation is to go outside the fold, shout around for a few years as a violent atheist or a dangerous radical, and then crawl back to the shelter. It is sadder to find the past again and find it inadequate to the present than it is to have it elude you and remain forever a harmonious conception of memory